Hello, morning. Welcome to our morning reading session. Thank you for joining us. If you're just popping in, do settle down a bit. We'll be starting pretty soon once I'm done adjusting this tablet so that it's centralized because I'm a little OCD. So we'll be starting soon. Just settle in a bit while I realign this tablet so it looks nice, I hope. Oof, ow, hit the table. Okay, we're going to start the reading in a bit. Just going to hydrate myself a bit. And we're off to the races. Good morning, welcome to Writers at Work, and we are doing our weekly morning news reading. So I think we're just going to jump to the headlines today. Something major seems to have happened recently. I'm also not too sure what the details are, but it does look pretty bad from the looks of it. Um, so we'll be starting in a bit while I grab my trusty phone in case we need to work out some definitions or some difficult words. We just learn along the way as we read. Okay, so this just in. 6 injured after 2 shop house units partially collapse following gas explosion in Syed Awi Road. So that looks pretty bad. You can see like the whole rooftop is kind of shattered here. Like those are all the tiles. You can see the rescue workers down in the distance. All the tiles have pretty much dislodged from the roof, scattered all around the tarp here, and I'm guessing this is where the explosion took place. Looks pretty nasty. Look at that. I hope no one was hurt. I think there was six injured. Yep, 6 injured. All right. So Singapore. Let's start news. 6 people were injured after 2 shophouse units partially collapsed in Syed Alwi Road after a gas explosion in the early hours of October 8. The Singapore Civil Defence Force said in a Facebook post at about 7 a.m. that they were alerted at about 1:30 a.m. at 84 and 85 Syed Alwi Road. So that's in the middle of the night at 1:30 a.m. So thankfully there probably weren't a lot of pedestrians around the area. If not, things would have been worse. Hope everyone's all right. According to checks online, the former location houses Pakashala Singapore, a vegetarian Indian restaurant, while the latter Narja Mega Mart. The Building and Construction Authority (BCA) said in a Facebook post at around 9:30 a.m. it was alerted to a suspected gas explosion incident. It said its engineers were sent to assess the structural integrity of the shophouse units and the adjacent units. Does anyone know the meaning of integrity or what it means in this context? So, integrity has a few meanings. One of it could be your integrity, as in your honesty, the other refers to the structural integrity. So let's look at the dictionary here. Integrity, noun, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. So that's one meaning. The one in this context is the state of being whole and undivided, or the condition of being unified or sound in construction. So that's the one we're looking at for this article here. It added, the rear part of the 2 shophouse units have partially collapsed. So that was in the picture we saw earlier. The front facade and staircase of Unit 84 were also damaged by the explosion. Oh, hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. I just noticed we have quite a number of you joining in. Hello, Sean. Congratulations on the N levels. Glad it's over. Now you can relax and just listen to the morning news. So we'll continue. The other adjacent buildings were not affected by the explosion and are safe. BCA engineers have told the owners to put in place immediate safety measures to cordon off the two units from public access. Two orders, dangerous building and closure, have been served by the BCA to the owners of the two shophouse units to close off the buildings. So that's all for safety measures. BCA said they must appoint a professional engineer to investigate the incident and recommend permanent rectification measures to be carried out. Does anyone know what does rectification mean? It sounds like a pretty big word, but rectification comes from the word ratify. So if you know what ratify means, you probably have a good guess of what that entails. So get the dictionary. Rectification, a noun, the action of putting something right, or the conversion of an alternating current to a direct current. So that we're not looking at the scientific definition, we're looking at the English definition here, action of putting something right. So hello, sorry for the interruption. We are experiencing some difficulties. Thankfully, it's not a gas explosion, so just give us a moment while we sort this out. Hello, and we're back live. Thank you for waiting, if you were waiting. Sorry about that. So, we are doing the morning reading of news articles. Before the interruption, we were looking at the latest headlines. So, 6 injured after two shophouse units partially collapse following gas explosion inside Aoi Road. So, we were just looking at the definition of ratification, which refers to the action of putting something right. So this is the Facebook post issued by the BCA, Building Construction Authority of Singapore, stating earlier this morning on 8 October 2024, BCA was alerted to a suspected gas explosion incident where two two-story shophouse units at 84 and 85 side Aoi Road had partially collapsed. It's been quite scary. Oh, oops, wrong button. So that's the whole article here, whole post. So BCA engineers were deployed on site to assess the structural integrity of the shophouse units and the adjacent buildings. The rear part of the two shophouse units have partially collapsed. The front facade and staircase of unit, well, that's interesting. They actually use this C here. I don't usually see this, but this is oddly specific. So you have the front facade, pronounced as facade, and staircase of unit 84. And were also damaged by the suspected explosion. The other adjacent buildings were not affected and are safe. In the interest of public safety, the BCA engineers have instructed the owners to put in place immediate safety measures to cordon off the two units from public access. BCA has also served dangerous building order and closure order to the respective owners of the two shophouse units to close off the buildings. They are also required to immediately appoint a PE, I'm not sure what PE stands for here, to advise on the immediate precautionary measures to obviate the danger. Oh, that's an interesting word. You rarely see people use the word obviate. So, what does obviate mean? Obviate. Well, obviate, obviate, verb. To remove a need or difficulty, avoid or prevent something undesirable. A parachute can be used to obviate disaster. So it's, I guess you could use say it's to avoid or to prevent. To remove a need or difficulty, obviate. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I never knew what this word meant until today. Measures to obviate the danger, carry out detailed investigations, and recommend permanent rectification measures to be carried out. So back to the original article. Oh, look at that. When the Straits Times arrived at the scene at about 9 a.m., a cordon was put up to cover the adjacent units and the alleyway behind the affected building. Philip Hotel, which is behind the scene at Desker Road, also had glass shattered from one of its windows. SCDF said it had immediately conducted a search of the area to check if anyone was trapped under the debris. That was quite the tongue twister. Under the debris. SCDF said it had immediately conducted a search of the area to check if anyone was trapped under the debris. 2 search dogs and a drone were also used. SCDF added firefighters rescued someone from the second floor of Unit 84 using a ladder as a blocked staircase prevented that person's escape. SCDF said that as some passerbys had reportedly heard a loud blast during the incident, a firefighting machine was used to disperse any potential buildup of flammable gases using its water mist spray. No one was found trapped under the debris, so that's good news. Good thing no one was trapped underneath. So that's the aftermath of the gas blast. 2 people suffered minor injuries and were taken to Singapore General Hospital and Tan Tock Seng Hospital, while 4 others also sustained minor injuries but declined to be taken to hospital. So that's good news. No fatalities, just minor injuries. So all in all, narrow escape. Netizen Crystal Adriana, quite the spelling. Netizen Crystal Adriana was live streaming on Facebook at about 1:20 a.m. when the incident happened. And as ambulance sirens sounded in the background, a woman can be heard saying that an explosion happened at the restaurant next to Mustafa Center. Part of the 1-lane road next to the units was also blocked by a crowd of onlookers due to the commotion. Wow, that looks crazy. Yikes, look at that. Again, good thing only 6 minor injuries, no fatalities, just quite the evening to witness. Good thing the restaurant was probably closed at an hour as well. It's pretty insane. So that's the article. So this is from today's headlines, Straits Times, about shop house gas explosion. We will move on to the next article. Let's look at more headlines and take a quick break while we choose something interesting. Okay, let's look for some local news. Hmm. I suppose we could read this one. There we go. Upgraded Pasir Ris Polyclinic offers more services to meet residents' changing needs. So this was published on the 7th, which was yesterday. Let's take a look at what's happening over there. Singapore Pasir Ris residents have access to more healthcare services with the opening of the redeveloped Pasir Ris Polyclinic on October 7. Located within the new Pasir Ris Mall, the facility is 4 times bigger than before and has added dental and physiotherapy services. By the second half of 2025, it will also introduce services catering to patients with dementia and mental health issues. Wow. As part of National Preventive Health Initiative, Healthier SG, the multidisciplinary care teams at Pasir Ris Polytechnic will be expanded, offering preventive care options such as breast, cervical, and colorectal cancer screening, as well as smoking cessation programs. Wow. Senior Minister Teo Chee Hean, who attended the opening of the redeveloped facility, said, "Our healthcare needs have evolved with the changing profile of our residents and the size of our town. The new polyclinic will be able to handle almost 1,000 patients per day in its first year," said its clinic director, Dr. Koh Kim Hui. In comparison, Tampines North Polyclinic, which opened 2023, was able to see about 500 patients per day in its first year. So that's almost twice, practically twice the amount. The planning and development of the new facility took about 5 years, Dr. Koh said, adding that it has a staff strength of about 130, an increase of about 10% to 20% from its previous headcount. Senior Minister Teo, who is also MP for Pasir Ris Tongo GRC added that the new location of the polyclinic next to Pasir Ris MRT station on the east-west line and Pasir Ris bus interchange places it at the heart of Pasir Ris. So all the ministers just posing around, looking at things. It will also be connected to the upcoming Pasir Ris station on the future Cross Island Line, something to look forward to. The previous facility, which opened in 2002, occupied 3 floors of the Pasir Ris East Community Building in Pasir Ris Drive 4. Pasir Ris resident Wendy Wong, 72, said that while the new polyclinic is located farther from her flat, it is just a 10-minute bus ride away, and she would be able to shop at the supermarket when she goes to see a doctor. The new facilities really enhance the polyclinic, said Ms. Wong, an asthma patient who has been visiting Pasir Ris Polyclinic for 15 years. Good lord, okay. Drawing on lessons from COVID-19, the polyclinic also features a dedicated module that can be isolated from the rest of the facility and converted into a pandemic unit if necessary. It's pretty interesting. By mid 2025, it will feature a 24-hour self help lobby, allowing patients to collect their medications at their own convenience. The polyclinic will also serve as an academic family medicine center dedicated to training doctors under the Family Medicine Residency Program. Not sure what that is about. Health Minister Ong Ye Kung, who attended the polyclinic's opening on October 7, noted that Singapore's polyclinics manage almost 7 million outpatient visits a year, including 40% of the country's chronic care patient load. Primary care accounts for about 15 to 20% of total healthcare spending, he said. Mr. Ong added that the authorities would focus on a few areas of primary care over the coming years, including increasing the number of polyclinics from 26 currently to 32 by 2030, as well as upgrading private family doctor clinics, which currently number about 1,600. We are looking into ways to enhance the professional competencies of private family doctors, improve their premises to encourage multidisciplinary practice, and strengthen their partnerships with community organizations and other healthcare providers. Pasir Ris Polyclinic also features a series of paintings by Visual Arts Hubs, a rehabilitation workshop under the auspices of the Singapore Prison Service. Robust partnerships with specialists, social service agencies, and community organizations help address the diverse needs of patients, said Dr. Ko, pointing to initiatives on supporting underprivileged residents in partnership with the Ministry of Social and Family Development, among others. So here is Pasir Ris Polyclinic, situated at the new Pasir Ris Mall, which I have not admittedly visited at all. I did not even know it was ready. This is the Pasir Ris Hawker Center. And then you have the White Sands Mall. Train station is here, and there's the polyclinic. New and improved. After 22 years at Pasir Ris East Community Building, the Pasir Ris Polyclinic moved to the new Pasir Ris Mall on October 7. The new facility has added dental and physiotherapy services, among others. Oh, I can't zoom in. By the second half of 2025, it will also include services for patients with dementia and mental health conditions. Wonderful news for anyone and everyone who is living around the Pasir Ris area. Something great for the community and something to look forward to. Hopefully, not if you're sick, but anyway, let's take a short break. We will look at what's available in the news. Oh, you can write here. This doesn't work at all. Ah, okay. Branded content. Okay, this one, I suppose we can look at this, but this is branded content. It says here branded content, so what are they selling? Building a bridge that builds careers. Okay, this is very construction heavy. I suppose we could look at this one here. Take a short break before we start. It's a pretty cool bridge. Alright, let's start. OCBC develops new Pongo Digital District Hub to base up to 4,000 staff there. So this is a bit dated. It's from September 18, but we shall look at what's happening over here. OCBC Bank is developing a new innovation hub in the Pongo Digital District as part of a $500 million investment. That's a lot of money. The hub, named OCBC Pongo, very creative, is slated for completion in the first quarter of 2027. So that's still 3 more years to go. Up to 4,000 of the bank's employees, mostly from its technology teams, will be based there, OCBC said in a statement on September 18. It will occupy 8 floors of a 12-story integrated complex that will also house a 200-room hotel and retail spaces and will be directly linked to the nearby Singapore Institute of Technology, SIT. So convenient. The investment will also see the bank partnering SIT to establish an analytics and innovation lab, driving fintech innovation and developing future talent. Does anyone know what fintech means? It's financial technology. No, it's just one word. Wow. When completed, OCBC Pongo will be the largest OCBC office premises outside the central business district and the second largest after the bank's head office in Chulia Street, said OCBC Group Chief Executive Helen Wong at the unveiling of OCBC Pongo on September 18. JTC's vision for PDD, nice acronyms, to nurture an ecosystem that fosters collaborative partnerships and innovation resonates with us most, she added, referring to JTC Corporation, the agency developing PDD. Located at 98 Pongo Way, OCBC Pongo will be directly connected to SIT's Chua Phin Po Discovery Hub via link via a red link bridge. It will also be linked to the varsity via a large canopy along Campus Boulevard, an 800-meter long walkway connecting the entire district. The new facility, which will be linked to the upcoming Pongo Coast MRT station, spans about 430,000 square feet of space, or around the size of 7 football fields. The 4,000 or so employees who will be based there will focus on emerging technologies such as quantum computing. Now, that's pretty amazing, said OCBC. I'm not sure if quantum computing is a thing yet. It's interesting to know. At present, the bank has more than 10,000 employees in Singapore. Ms. Emily Teo, head of Group Property Management at OCBC, said the bank plans to take over and retrofit the building in early 2026. Subject to it obtaining a temporary occupation permit. Employees will move into their new offices in phases from the first quarter of 2027. The Innovation Hub will be infused with high-tech features powered by audio-visual technology, biometric access, mobile phone applications, and other advanced workspace tools. The building will also be energy efficient and tap renewable energy resources. Central to OCBC Pongo is its strategic partnership with SIT. The SIT campus in Pongo will open progressively from September. More than 10,000 students are expected to use the campus once it is completed in 2025. As part of the partnership, the Analytics and Innovation Lab at SIT will offer hands-on learning opportunities for students in financial analysis and fintech applications. It will serve as a hub for developing fintech innovations and artificial intelligence driven applications, allowing students to apply their theoretical knowledge to real world challenges. Educational outreach, such as workshops on financial literacy, financial planning, and retirement planning, will be done at the lab as part of OCBC and SIT's engagement with Pongo residents and community development efforts. OCBC will also offer 5 bond-free scholarships yearly to SIT graduates, each valued at $11,000, along with internships at the bank. Wow. Look at that. 3 monitors. That's 4 monitors. Pretty amazing. No, wait, I don't think that's a monitor. What was that? So, Professor Chua Ki Chang, president of SIT, said OCBC's endowed donation to SIT will go towards the provision of authentic real-world experiences for our students to thrive in the dynamic financial industry and nurture a stream of ready talent to drive Singapore's economy. Under the tie-up, SIT will also make available some of its facilities, such as multi-purpose sports halls for OCBC's corporate activities when the bank's innovation hub is completed in 2027. So it's basically scratch my back and I'll scratch your back sort of collaboration. The development of OCBC Pongo builds on the bank's ongoing 7-year digital core roadmap aimed at modernizing its technological architecture. The first phase from 2019 to 2022 saw an investment of more than $250 million to upgrade key systems, enabling faster rollouts of digital features and improving personalization through machine learning and AI. OCBC is investing another $300 million for the period from 2023 to 2025 to grow its innovation and customer-led design. Homegrown bank UOB, meanwhile, is investing $500 million to build a 300,000 square feet center in PDD to hold around 3,000 staff in technology, innovation, and digital roles. The facility is due to be completed in 2026. So all that's happening pretty soon. Um, Looks like a lot of bank investments going on to this area, and seems quite happening. So we are going to take a quick short break before we move on. Let's look for some more news, maybe something regional. Just trying to look for some travel news, but there isn't much travel news, it seems. Hmm. Oh, I think we can click here, the menu. Aha, categories. So let's see, wool, food, parenting, tech, sport, life, life. Mm-hmm. Travel news. Let's try this. Seems a bit fun. A little bit of travel news wouldn't hurt, I suppose. Good morning to everyone who's just joined us. We've had a bit of a disconnect earlier, but we are back right now to do some morning news reading. And we are now moving to a bit of travel news. Well, not so much news than it is article. Oh, hang on, we're not logged in. Oh, gosh darn it, we have to log in. Hang on a bit. Let's see. Let's do the login. Login for the paid wall content. Please don't look at the password or I will be in trouble. Okay, we're logged in. Now we can read this article. Yay. So, subscriber only paywall content. Wonderful. Ditch the anonymity and connect with locals in New York City through walking tours. Oh, that looks good. It's a Reuben sandwich from Zucker's Bagels and Smoked Fish Deli. Wow. That looks really, really good. It's making me hungry. New York City, seated at a table in Zucker's Bagels and Smoked Fish Deli, I unwrap my bagel. The first I have had since arriving in New York City. The smell of juicy corned beef, sauerkraut, creamy Russian dressing, and oozing Swiss cheese makes my mouth water. Today, you folks are going to be getting the best of both worlds, says my guide, Mr. Justin Van Voris. You're tasting the best New York sandwich, the Reuben, and rather than getting it on toasted rye bread, this one is on a traditional New York bagel. Oh, looks so good. This walking tour with like a local tours, like a local tours. Oh, that's an interesting name. Like a local tours. So I guess the inflection kind of sets the word, so it's like a local tours. So you can check that out over here, likealocotours.com. It's a great way to gain insight into what makes New Yorkers tick. The city is among the world's most well known travel destinations, yet its fast pace and sometimes brisk locals make it difficult for tourists to unearth local knowledge and connections. Guides like Mr. Van Voris, who has been leading tours around New York City for a decade, impart insight I could never otherwise have gleaned. It's one of two tours I embark on during a 9-day trip to New York City in April to venture beyond this mega city's anonymity. The company offers a range of small group walking tours. Ours uncovers the Manhattan district known as Flatiron. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Flatiron, with a deep dive into food, architecture, and history. It costs US $78, which is equivalent to 100 Sing dollars, which probably isn't too bad a deal if you ask me. It's only $100 per person, I'm guessing. It costs US $78 a person for a 3-hour tour, including 4 food tastings and coffee. That is not a bad deal. Foodie Flatiron. So that's Flatiron Building. The iconic Flatiron Building. So yesterday we learned the word iconic. Now it's back again. Flatiron Building, a thin wedge-shaped building that is known as one of the city's oldest skyscrapers. Very, very iconic. The tour starts at the district's namesake, the iconic Flatiron Building, a thin wedge-shaped building that opened in 1902 and is known as one of the city's oldest skyscrapers, still standing tall. From there, we head to Eat Early, a glamorous Italian food hall where Mr. Van Voris explains the importance of the Italian immigrants to the city. He orders us a slice of New York City's famous Roman style pizza with dough proofed for 18 hours. Wow. And we learned that this version, sold by the slice, elevated pizza back in its home country. Wow. Look at that. New York took pizza from peasant food to popular, he says, before we make stops for coffee and Jewish pastries. At the buzzing Union Square Green Market, New Yorkers are buying the freshest produce from farms. From farms beyond the city, bagging up mushrooms, apples, and flowers. Mr. Van Voris says that not only do locals shop here, but they can also ethically dispose of their organic waste. Miss Bridget McCann of Lower East Side Ecology Center, the social impact partner of Like a Local Tours, explains that since most residents are new to composting, the club promotes awareness and provides composting facilities at the farmers market. The center collects 3 truckloads a week, each carrying over 1,300 kg of food scraps for composting. Residents can also buy bags of compost prepared on nearby Governor's Island. Having recently lost government-based funding due to budget cuts, Ms. McCann says the support from Like a Local Tours in the form of donations from each tour is critical. Big flavors in Little Caribbean. It's pretty cool. It's, La Bay, La Bay Market in Little Caribbean, located in the Brooklyn district of Flatbush. Over 20% of New York City residents are of Caribbean descent, the largest Caribbean diaspora outside the West Indies. With my appetite whetted for more community connections, I catch the subway to Brooklyn district of Flatbush. Over 20% of New York City residents are of Caribbean descent, the largest Caribbean diaspora outside the West Indies. What is the meaning of diaspora? Let's find out. Diaspora. Diaspora. Noun, the dispersion of spread of a people from their original homeland. People who have spread or have been dispersed from their homeland. Often the diaspora, the dispersion of the Jewish people beyond Israel. Okay, so there's quite a few definitions here. We'll go with people who have spread or been dispersed from their homeland. So that's the definition of diaspora. So here we are. This district, known as Little Caribbean, is your cultural heartland. Miss Shelley Worrell, who founded organization Caribbean, gosh the puns, spearheaded the district's designation as Little Caribbean in 2017 and now offers walking tours to introduce visitors to this community. Each tour costs US $74 a person for 2 hours, including 4 food tastings. So you can go to littlecaribbean.nyc/tours to find out more. She says since NYC had 2 Little Italies and 8 Chinatowns, she decided the Caribbean community needed a district of its own to create a sense of belonging and ownership. We want people to come in and to celebrate and learn about our food and culture. She adds, that's where the tours come in, spreading the word and spreading the dollars through those businesses. As we walk past Bob Marley Avenue, with shops displaying flags of Jamaica, Haiti, Grenada, Panama, Trinidad, and Barbados, she explains that residents here cherish their traditions. One of the stops on our tour is Labay Market, a fresh fruit and grocery store owned by Mr. MacDonald Romaine, known as Big Mac. Most of the fruit and vegetables are grown on his farm in Grenada and include items that are difficult to find in NYC. His compact shop is popular, with a queue that sneaks past shelves of cassava, soursop, and fresh fish, and another queue around the corner for his fresh coconut water. On weekends, his family cooks traditional meals, and today I am sampling his sister's oiled down, the national dish of Grenada. It is a spicy stew including coconut, yam, and even a pig's tail. Big Mac says these foods are vital to the culture of his community. Ooh, look at the grill. People are going home when they come here, he says. When I came to the US in 1978, I missed home so much. I ate anything I could that I remembered from home. Next we meet next we meet Miss Nikki Gordon, owner of Irie Jerk Chicken, who claims that barbecue originated in their home country, Jamaica. Miss Gordon's 3 metal barbecue pits are on the footpath right beside the road, and the chicken legs she sells are delightfully charred and smoky, served with a punchy chili sauce that we dig into, seated at plastic chairs in front of a shop. Wow. I've been here for over 30 years with my whole family, so now I'm bringing my flavors to the community, she says. Our final shop is Allen's Bakery, where Mr. Christian Smith, shown here, continues his grandparents' business, working alongside his mother, aunt, and cousin. Coconut tarts are made with his great grandmother's recipe. We also sample beef patties and traditional black cake containing currants, raisins, pineapple, oranges, and rum. But the bakery is best known for its sweet currant rolls. And next door, in the family's latest expansion, Ellen's Bakery Bar and Cafe, the pastry makes an appearance on the rim of a cocktail glass. My indulgent tipple, Currant Roll Bliss, features Hennessy cognac, currant juice, cinnamon, and cloves. That sounds really, really nice. Don't you just want to go there? Oh, community digs. Back on Manhattan Island, I have selected my hotel, One Hotel Central Park, for its community friendly and sustainable approach. Rooms start at 779 US dollars a night for two people. Gosh, that is not cheap. Just look at that. It is way too fancy. That is so expensive. It looks amazing though. The first thing I noticed is the hotel's green exterior. Its lower three floors clad in ivy, while its biophilic design is becoming common in Singapore. It is very rare in New York City. The mood-lifting greenery continues inside, with live plants, moss, and even fungi adorning the restaurant, dangling above the bar and attached to walls and hallways. Repurposed timber is used throughout, originating from old water towers, a wool shed, and the floor of demolished baseball court. Okay, I think that will be all for now for today. This is all about hotel stuff, which probably isn't as interesting as the city streets of New York. Thank you for joining us this morning for the newsroom reading. Do join us tomorrow for more morning news article reading. Now that you're done with your PSLE and whatever exams, you can chill. Let's see here. Yep. So we went through a few articles, we hit the headlines, and hope you all have a good morning. We'll be back later for more live sessions. So do join in later today in the late afternoon. Thank you so much.